Good morning, Ma'am Vicky. Ay, good afternoon, Ma'am Vicky. My name is Kaya. I can say that Ayala is the best in corporate social responsibility. Do you think this has helped Ayala in glossing over its environmental missteps in the past, which occurred in some place in Cebu and in Laguna?
Yes. Oh, definitely, no, definitely. In fact, we were very involved in the problems in Cebu. What happened there was one of the executives of Ayala Land bought this very large tract of land, no, in the mountains surrounding Cebu, not realizing, and this was one of those unintended consequences, no, not realizing that the seller hid the fact that 70 hectares of what he sold was actually watershed, no? And of course, there was a big brouhaha in Cebu. So immediately we flew to Cebu, as Mike mentioned earlier. We flew to Cebu, had a big conference like this with about 100 people of Cebu, no? The business leaders, the environmentalists, everyone, and said, okay, we made a mistake. Okay? We bought property and we were not informed that part of that property was watershed. So immediately we said we will not develop the watershed, and in fact we will undertake programs to improve that watershed. So Ayala Foundation came in and started to work with the communities, because even in that watershed, there were people living there. They were planting some things, and you know, there are very few places in the Philippines na walang tao, no? So we started working with those communities to replant trees. In fact, we worked with the University of San Carlos with their expert on biodiversity to bring back the biodiversity in the watershed that had been lost because of the overlogging and planting of I think they were planting flowers. Some people, they were planting flowers. So we, for example, we planted the trees that would bring back the butterflies into that watershed, no? And we also, because of the replanting, and we monitored this from year to year, we would have aerial photos which showed the denuded areas, and then when we planted them, it showed the forest growing. And so after a while, the reports, the monitors from University of San Carlos were saying that the frogs were coming back, some small animals were coming back. So the watershed was regenerated. So yun yung mga, that's where, again, as I said, the reputation of Ayala is so strong that they knew we would do the right thing. And we did. Again, like Mike says, it costs a lot of money. But for the companies, it is worth it, because your reputation is the most important asset of a company. And anything that will tarnish that reputation will be very, very difficult to get back later on. No? The moment sabi nga nila, it's hard to build and easy to destroy. So you have to really make sure everything you're doing is to build that reputation. So your goodwill is very strong, and then when you act quickly and with great resolve, that the community understands and partners with you.
That 70 hectare was donated, am I right, ma'am?
I beg your pardon?
The 70 hectares.
Yes, no, it remained the watershed under DNR. Kasi it's it cannot be owned by anyone.
Because I read it wrong. But thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question, Miss. We have another question.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I am Mariela Enrique po from PM College of Mass Communication. Ma'am, this question has a connection with Ayala's water utility, which is the Manila Water. Ma'am, may I know how is Ayala managing its public relations regarding its underperformed compliance with its water waste commitments in the East Zone of Metro Manila?
Water waste?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm afraid I don't know the exact answer because I'm not in PR, no? But what I know is they are starting to do the wastewater program. And if I may mention, what I remember is I remember a case study in Indonesia, no? Where the same thing, the water was privatized and part of it was wastewater treatment. And the studies were showing that people usually do not want to pay for that. They are willing to pay for the water, but they're not willing to pay for wastewater. So what Ayala is doing, as far as I know, no, Manila Water, is they're building on the experience of Ayala land in actually putting sewage treatment tanks in their subdivisions. So there's one in Las Marinas, if I remember right, or in Magallanes. There's one I think in Ayala, Alabang. So they do have the experience. I think the important condition here is one, the infrastructure. They have to lay out the infrastructure, which will, of course, is separate from the water pipes. And it really is very difficult in Metro Manila because, as you know, we're below sea level. No? So the digging for that wastewater and connecting it now to all the different homes is really a very difficult job because we're already a very crowded metropolis. No? In fact, one of the problems of Metro Manila is that the road infrastructure and the infrastructure under all the pipes, for telephones, for water, for everything is so crowded, no? And there's little space for the wastewater treatment. So I think that is one of the problems. I don't know the details, but if you give me your email, I'll find out and let you know.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, last question.
Good afternoon. I'm Aljon Quilates from PNM. Ma'am, I just want to ask, I have read an article that the biggest CSR ever in the Philippines is the 500 million peso project of San Miguel Corporation that will build 5,000 houses for typhoon-stricken victims. Given how large your company is, are you willing to spend that much in the future?
We do. Ayala Foundation alone, our budget is anywhere from 250 to 300 million a year. And that's just Ayala Foundation. BPI has a foundation, Globe has a foundation, and they also do their own corporate social responsibility projects. So I don't know the exact numbers because we have not put it all together, but we do invest very significantly into our corporate social responsibility programs.
Ma'am, follow-up question. You have mentioned that there are many positive effects of CSR in the country. Did you ever encounter some negative criticisms on your CSR?
Yes, some people will say, oh, ano lang yan, para lang silang bumili, parang just to get bigger markets, higher profits. But that's really the what we call the sweet spot, no? Where your corporate social responsibility is actually helping also your bottom line. Because if it helps your bottom line, then you will continue the program. So it assures the sustainability of the program. One of the problems of corporate social responsibility is when the company is not doing well. Let's say there's a setback, no? Let's say the country has a financial crisis, all the companies are not earning as well. Usually, the first to go in the budgeting is the corporate social responsibility, no? Because, of course, the company needs to pull back and make sure that it is sustained first, no? So, if you find a program where helping, for example, the public schools, no, like Gilas, in a way it helped the telecoms, no, the telecom companies, because those schools now became their customers. But of course, it's very small, no? But still, if the corporate social responsibility program brings in also business to the company, then the company will continue that program. So it assures the sustainability of the CSR. That's why today, the buzzword is social enterprise, no? For example, Manila Water is a perfect example of a social enterprise because access to potable water is one of the Millennium Development Goals. So that is a clear social good that is critical to the well-being of the country. So because Manila Water was, and of course its counterpart, no, Manila, are actually bringing water, especially to those at the base of the pyramid, then they are a social enterprise because they are serving a public good. But they're making money out of it, which is what we call an enterprise. An enterprise usually makes money. So that is the perfect, what we call the perfect sweet spot, where what you're doing for the good of the country is also making money for the country.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. And I think that ends our third talk and open forum for the day. May we request Ms. Garchitorena to please remain on stage for the awarding of certificate and token of appreciation.
May we call on the Dean of the College of Mass Communication PLM, Professor Ludmila Labagnoy, Professional Overseer and Advisor of JPRPP, Professor Noel S. Ramirez, APR, President of JPRPP, AJ Celestial, and the Chair of the First National PR Conversity, Janessa Tech Inc.
Participants, let us once again give Ms. Garchitorena a big round of applause.